So today we will learn how we move. Our bones coordinate with each other and allow us to move. How that happens? Let's see. So how do we move? We occasionally do a lot of things together when just we sit or when we stand or do any other activity. So you might have thought once a while, how do we move exactly? So our bones, muscles, and joints work together in a coordinated way to move our body and give it stability. So whenever our bones, muscles, and joints work together, we call it a coordination, a controlled coordination, and it gives us stability. Tendons, ligaments, and joints play an important role here. So tendons, ligaments, and joints, we will study all these things in our upcoming slides. So what does they do exactly? So tendon connects muscles to bones. See this, the tendons, these tendons connects your muscles to your bones. So all those muscles that you have, okay, so this is a muscle. Okay, this is a muscle. There is nothing a bone over here. I mean, I can pinch it, but this muscle is connected to our bones through these tendons. Okay, and these ligaments help to hold things in place. So these ligaments, what they do is they keep bones together. Okay, how do they do it? Let us see. Okay, so this is a wrist joint tendinotis. These are the tendons. Tendons are thread-like projections. Okay, this is your muscle, a muscle fiber, and these are the tendons. Similarly, what uh, this is a ligament here. These ligaments, you can see this. This is a bone. Okay, this is a bone. This is a bone. This is also a bone. And what this ligament do? Ligament attaches bones to bones. Okay, getting this? What definition did we saw before? Ligaments help to hold things in place. What does that mean exactly? It means that it keeps bones together. Okay. And what did we learn about tendons? Tendons connect muscles to bones. That means these tendons connect these muscles to these bones. Okay, are you getting this? Then this is a radius bone, then this is the ulna bone. Then these are some complex definitions, don't need to worry about. We will move forward. So what joints are? A main question. So joints are the junctions in the body that link the bones together. Okay. So you might see any of the joint. Let's say this finger. Here is a small joint. Then your elbow, your wrist. So joints are junctions in a body that link bones together. Okay, so you can see this is a joint. Here, this finger, this is a bone, and this is another bone, and that those are joined together at a junction. Okay, that junction is nothing but it is called a joint. Then joints are responsible for movement of our hand and legs. See this. I am able to hold this pen in this fashion. How? Because of joints. It allows me to write like this because of joints. Similarly, joints bind the skeleton together. Okay, so now you must have been known this skeleton system. Okay, so our skeletal system, which provides framework to our body, which gives us a recognition as humans, the shape of human, that is called skeleton. So to that binds the skeleton together. Joints, what they do, they bind the skeleton together to give structure and allow muscles to move bones to perform certain tasks. Okay, so it what do the joints do? These joints allow muscles to move bones and perform certain tasks, like for example holding this pen, and also such as running, reaching, and grasping. Okay, so joints have a very crucial role in our movement systems. So let's do a simple experiment. What our material required? We require a color chart paper, then some marker pens, then toothpicks and buttons like this, and clippers and scissors. Okay, so let's get started. Procedure is to draw and cut out the individual part as shoulder, then biceps and triceps, forearm, and hand with wrist from different colors of chart paper. Okay, so you can draw it any shape that you like. Mostly try to draw it humans, just joking. So draw and cut out the individual parts of shoulder, biceps, these are biceps, then triceps, then forearms, these are forearm, and your full hand, then this wrist from the different colored chart paper. Okay, now connect these parts with one another by placing buttons on either side and inserting a toothpick through them. Okay, we are going to do this activity in the next lecture, but right now just focus on these things. Then label three movement segment of this assembly. This will be explained to you clearly in next lecture. Then mark the joint between shoulder and biceps as A, between the biceps and forearm as B, and between forearm and wrist as C. Okay, so here's something that you need to understand right now. Mark the joint between shoulders and forearms. Okay, so this is shoulder and this forearm. So this joint you should mark as A. Okay, remember this. This is your A. Then between the biceps and forearm, this joint should be B. This over here, this joint. And between the forearm and wrist, that is this joint as C. Okay, so we will now move forward. So after doing this, what do you understood exactly? So remember, we had A there over here, we had B here, and we had C here. So this A is an example of ball and socket joint. Now see this image here. This is your A, huh? Shoulder, the shoulder and your forearm. This. So A is an example of ball and socket joint. How? See this. See the construction of this joint. So there is a ball over here and this is the socket. It's like it's covering that ball, hence it is called a socket. Then what does happen is this is your shoulder. Okay, this this thing is your shoulder. Okay, so what happens is this is your shoulder, there is a hollow groove. Okay, now groove means you can say groove is an empty space basically. So there is an empty space exactly as per the length of this ball. Okay, so the bone, this your forearm bone contains a ball, and it not contains, actually it is balled in shape. Okay, professionally you can call it as it is convex in shape. So what happens is this ball goes exactly inside this socket. Okay, the socket is provided by the shoulder, and this ball like structure goes inside it and fits perfectly. Meanwhile, what happens is all the tendons and ligaments do their work over here. Every time, whenever I talk about joints, ligaments, tendons, they always come into picture. So this is a general structure of ball and socket joint, and what happens is a joint within a rounded surface of a bone moves within a depression on another bone. So depression is nothing but a groove. Okay, an empty space that I told about, that I told you. So allowing it the greater freedom of movement other than any kind of joint. Okay, so this type of joint, this ball and socket joint, provides most freedom of movement because you can rotate your arm easily. Okay, you cannot do so with this joint. Okay, with elbow you cannot rotate your elbow fully like this way, है ना? So you can, but you can do so with this ball and socket joint. Getting this? Hence, this joint, this type of particular joint allows the most freedom of movement. Okay, and you can see this is humeral head. This is called humeral head. It is the ball that I was talking about. That ball has a name, and it is actually called humeral head. Okay, and this socket also has a name, and it's called as glenoid. Obviously, you don't need to worry about these things, but just for information purposes, Please keep in mind. Then let's move forward. Okay, now we covered A. Then what is B? So B is actually a hinge joint. Okay, so what was B exactly? It was here, the elbow region type. Okay, so this is a B. So a joint between the bones as an elbow or a knee. So what is B exactly? B is a joint between bones as that of the elbow or a knee. Okay, so this hinge joint is also present in your knees that permits motion only one plane. Okay, so this motion only in one plane is actually very, very textual. I'll try to explain you. So motion only in one plane means what exactly is it allows only motion like this way from here to here. Okay. No, you cannot do any other motion regarding with this joint. You cannot perform any other motion. Okay. And these joints are formed when two or more bones meet and move along an axis to bend. Okay, they move along an axis to bend. See this. You now must have been studying mathematics now. So why does mathematics come into biology? I'll explain you. So this is an let's say a straight line. Okay, this is a straight line, and what happens now? This is a straight line, and now you can move your arm from like 0 degree, 1 degree, 2 degree, 90 degrees. Okay, see this. This is a 0 degree. Then slowly 45, then 90 degrees, then 135 degrees, like this up to 180 degrees. You cannot move beyond 180 degree. Okay, so this is what I was trying to tell you. Then consider your elbow bend when we lift a glass, or how our fingers curl when we make a fist. This is also a type of hinge joint. See this. These are your fingers. They also move like this way only. This is also a hinge joint. Similar structures. This is a humerus. This bone is called humerus. Then these are tendons, ligaments, as I explained. Whenever I talk about joint, ligaments and tendons always come into picture. Okay. And if you might have been confused with what are the biceps and what are the triceps are, then I'll tell you. See this. The front muscles, okay, the front part. See this. Whenever I do like this, the front part over here, these are the biceps. And the below part, the downward part, these are the triceps. You can also see this in figure. These are your biceps, and these are your triceps. Okay, and this is a elbow, which is acting as a hinge joint. Can you see this pink portion joining this bone and this bone? Those are ligaments. Correct. Those are ligaments. Okay, so now we will move further. Okay, so now we are done with A. Now we're done with B. What about C? So C is actually an example of a gliding joint. So a gliding joint is a joint which opposed surface are flat or slightly curved, so that bones slide against each other in limited way. Okay, so you can feel your wrist. Okay, so what to do is hold your wrist like this, hold it firmly, and now press it. Okay, you will find that there are many small bones inside it. Do like this way. Okay, do like this, like this, like this. So you can find that there are many small bones inside it, though that joint is called gliding joint. Actually that bones are all held together with help of ligaments. Getting it? And many small bones of wrist and ankle meets the gliding joint. Okay, so this is a type of gliding joint. See this. Okay, this is a scaphoid. Then this is the radius, and this is ulna. Okay, this is ulna, this is radius. Always the bigger bone is called radius and the smaller bone is called ulna. And this, see this. What does these arrows mean? These arrows. What do they mean exactly? It means that what you can do is you can either do like this way. You can also rotate them. Okay, feel this. Try to rotate your wrist. You will get to know that there are small bones inside. You can feel those bones. So this is an example of a gliding joint. Okay. Oh, so these are the some STEM uh, cards that you have been given. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and management. Just to give you an introduction. Okay, so here's a think time for all you guys. What keeps our joints stable? What everything I just told you each and everything. So what do you think? What keeps our joints stable? What's keeping our joints stable? Take 5 second time. Think. Okay, we'll move forward now. So the stability of a joint relies on the shape of the joint itself as well as surrounding structures. So what are surrounding structures? Now there are not many of those. Surrounding structures are basically your ligaments, tendons, then all those things that makes up your joint. Obviously, the stability of the joint will depend on those only, right? Similarly, let's take consider any joint. Okay, so if you just remove tendons from it, what will happen? Bones will not be together, correct? All those bones will not be together because what does tendons do? They attach bone to bone. You getting this? Oh, sorry, those are called ligaments. I just got confused a little bit. So afterwards, what happens is, so the ligaments of a joint prevent excessive movement. Okay, so the ligaments of a joint prevent excessive movement that could damage the joint. See, you can when you play football. Okay, most of you must have played. So when you play football, what happens is sometimes you kick very hard. So what happens? Your joint just begin to break. Not exactly, but joint begins to pain. Okay, so at that time, what happens is, there's most of the players, football players, they get you know while playing football, the most common injury is the ligament tear. So, why do you think that happens? Because these ligaments, what they do, I just told you right now. What do the ligaments do? Ligaments connect bones to bones. Getting it? So, what happens is due to excessive stretching of those bones, that ligament gets torn. Okay, we usually refer to as it as a ligament tear, and most of the football players, they suffer from these injuries. Why is that so? Because their joint are more excessively stretched than their capacities. Okay, so these ligaments, what they do is they prevent excessive movement that could damage the joint. Getting this? So that's why these are important. And as a general rule, the more ligaments a joint has, the tighter they are and the more stable the joint is. So answering to your question, the more the ligaments, the more the tighter they are and more is the stability. Okay, so this is all about today's session. See you in the next one.